Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos. He's Bill Rice Jr. as we start a Monday right here on our show. And, of course, got a lot to talk about, a lot of basketball, a lot of baseball, softball. And then I had a great...
Aren't we going to talk about restaurants and movies?
Well, we'll talk about what comes up, but I'll say this, that the other night, Saturday night, I saw a top-notch girls softball game between Ole Miss and Troy.
Tell me about it.
And Troy led 4-2 all the way up until the top of the seventh inning. Ole Miss got the bases loaded, and it was 4-2, and they got one run across. That's 4-3, and then they still had the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the sixth, seventh inning, and there was a tremendous lick by a Ole Miss girl, and it looked like there was no way that center fielder for Troy was going to get to it. She made a fantastic catch, and Troy beat Ole Miss 4-3.
Yeah. Awesome.
They came back.
Was there a good crowd?
Huge crowd, big crowd. It was a lot of fun, and I really sort of got entangled with girls softball. I left the baseball. We were having our way with Holy Cross, and went over there, and of course Troy won. I want to say they won 3 games and lost 1 in their tournament, and that was a heartbreaker. I want to say I need a score on that. Their girls later on Sunday lost to Ole Miss, so they split a doubleheader with Ole Miss, and but Troy won 3 out of 4 that they played.
Well, not too bad. Anytime you beat the SEC program.
That's what I said. You're exactly right. I said that. Anytime you beat a team like Ole Miss that's got money and players, it's a great win.
That's a big deal. Girls softball is exciting. A lot of.
Ole Miss had to rally in the last inning. The final score was 8-7.
Golly, 8-7, and they beat us in the last inning. Had a rally to do it. Now, I went to that second game on Sunday, yesterday afternoon, and Ole Miss was winning 4-0, and they had the bases loaded. And I said, Troy just doesn't have a chance here. And doggone, evidently they not only had a chance, they had the game won right at the end, and it was a great win for Ole Miss and a tough win for Troy.
2 thrilling games. Guten Morgen.
Morning.
This is your German sports network this morning. Welcome to our show. I see that you're coming to us loud and clear from Great Beach, Florida. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, there's about an extra 10,000 people. They had this seaside half marathon yesterday, so we had a lot of extra people down here. I had several people come up to me and ask me if I was running the marathon because I look so good now.
Oh.
But fun time down here. Went to the beach yesterday and it's packed. Had a real pretty sunny day. It was about 67.
You didn't have anybody that went in the water though, do you?
Oh yeah, we watched a family from Michigan paddleboard out in the water, and they fell in the water several times.
They're braver than I am.
What
I had a lot going on in Troy with the baseball team sweeping Holy Cross, and then the softball team was playing Ole Miss.
Yeah, and lost a heartbreak to him. I saw the game, the game Saturday night. It was a fabulous game that Troy won 4-3, and evidently they led in the game all the way to the end, and Ole Miss beat them in the last inning.
In the second game.
And I wish I.
Unfortunately for Troy basketball, they ran into something we've known for a long time. Cliff Ellis can really coach.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, a 12-12 Coastal Carolina team beat an 18-win Troy team.
Yeah.
And Vegas knows all. Coastal Carolina was a 4-point favorite against Troy.
Oh gosh, isn't that amazing?
What was the final score of that game?
Troy had cut it to 3 with 1 minute and 42 seconds left, and Troy didn't make another shot. Got beat 73-63.
Well, you know, it's always good to recognize the officials. Somebody told me the officials were terrible in that game.
Yeah, Troy basically, I guess, got called on several fouls in a row. They ended up getting a technical foul later.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And next thing you know, Coastal wins by 10.
Yeah. Oh
Foul fest.
Exactly.
Pet peeve of mine that you go to these basketball games and they're just free throw shooting contests. Oh well,
yeah.
Troy's still without 2 of their best players. I mean,
Do you know what the deal is on? Do you know what the deal is on Miles?
Dick Miles is still out, and then Waters, who started at Troy the last 2 years, is also a starter that's been out too. So I don't know what's going on. None of that ever gets released.
Well, I hope it's.
But Troy will play on national TV against Texas State on Saturday.
Okay.
ESPN 2.
Yeah. Okay.
where's that game going to be?
Troy's last 2 games are against at home against Texas Arlington. Coach Cross was former school, so you know he's going to want to beat them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this.
Then Texas State on Saturday.
I'll tell you this. Did you see the film of the Michigan coach hitting the other?
Oh yeah, he's going to lose.
I mean, no question. He just blew it. I mean, I don't know how he could do something like that. The head coach at Michigan.
Howard?
And what is that? Who
Used
it
to be
is?
an NBA player, was part of the Fab
Yeah,
Five.
yeah. He won millions. I mean, he made millions of dollars.
Well, I'll tell you this. He fixed
He
it.
has money.
If we're going to find out what kind of people are at the University of Michigan. If they let him by with that, I can't.
Well, I'll tell
I
you
can't
what,
see it.
Ohio State fired Woody Hayes for punching a player in the middle of the game.
Oh yeah.
So I guess Michigan would have to fire a coach
Yeah.
for hitting somebody.
And you know, I'm sure.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. Breaking news. Troy plays Texas State on Friday night at 8 p.m. at Trojan Arena.
Why to get ready for the tournament or what?
They moved the games up this week. They'll play UT Arlington at 6 p.m. on Wednesday and turn around and play Texas State Friday night, 8 p.m. on ESPN 2.
And guess what, Mike? Troy plays Auburn in baseball that same day.
On that Wednesday?
Yes, on Wednesday. So I was.
Figure out which one you want to go to, I guess.
All right, now who do they play in basketball?
UT Arlington.
UT Arlington. Oh
Two really
boy.
good teams that come to Troy, Arlington and Texas State.
Do the girls play on Wednesday too?
I don't know. I'd have to look and see.
Well, yeah. But you know, I definitely wanted to watch the Troy baseball game against Auburn.
And
But,
Charles Henderson won their first
Oh,
game
yeah.
in the regional in Montgomery against the Pike Road Patriots.
Sure did, and they're heading.
71-55. So I don't know who Charles Henderson's playing. You know, Mike?
They're playing.
Carroll, those are.
Yeah, playing Carroll of Ozark for the right to go to.
I want to say they played today.
Is it today?
No, it's a
Tuesday.
Tuesday game. Today's the 20th.
Well, Ozark versus Troy.
For
For
sure.
the right to go to, where is it, Birmingham now, where they play
Yeah,
the
would this take them to Birmingham?
Will Matthews now got a dozen Thomas donuts on the line for this game.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I tell you what, it's going to be a great one. Carroll is 24-7. Charles Henderson's 23-5, and they play in Montgomery. And for the right to go to Birmingham, are they still playing in Birmingham? Are they?
Yeah, Final Four will be at the BJCC.
So if they beat Carroll tonight, I mean on the 23rd, 10:30 tip, they'll advance to Birmingham. Is that right?
That's right, Final Four.
Okay.
Final
All right.
Four,
The
so-
same thing for Highland Homes boys.
Charles Henderson and Carroll of Ozark in the Elite Eight right now.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Charles Simpson beat Pike Road 71-55 to get there. And the girls also, Mike, won.
Yeah,
and
they beat Pike Road too.
And they like you said, and they beat Pike Road 66-52. Now it's Charles Simpson's girls versus Talladega. Charles Simpson 16-11 and Talladega 21-12. That game's going to be played first thing Wednesday. I mean, when is the 23rd?
2 days from now, Wednesday.
All right, Wednesday. They play on Wednesday. A lot happening on Wednesday. And they play Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, and they win. They go to Birmingham, and then yes, sir. And
you
then
can have Charles Simpson boys and girls basketball both in the Final Four. That's probably unprecedented.
It could be. And then, like I said,
Lady Trojans of Troy basketball team, Coach Rigby's got another great team. They're now 11-2 in conference. They've won 7 straight games. They're 20-7 overall.
Okay, and then a win in the tournament in Pensacola will get them in the national tournament, don't you think?
Well, if they win the conference outright, they'll be in postseason play. I think maybe in the NIT, women's NIT for sure.
Of course, what if that girl was still with us that transferred last year?
Gosh,
we'd be something, wouldn't it?
Have a chance to go far in the tournament.
Troy might be ranked.
Yeah. Luverne lost a heartbreaker 49-47 in girls basketball against St. Luke's Episcopal, and so they're out now. And looking ahead at some of these games, Eufaula, boy, they've got a great team. They'll be playing Park Crossing, I believe that's right.
I think Eufaula beat Charles Simpson early in the year.
That's right. Eufaula beat Hueytown 67-64. Park Crossing beat Hillcrest of Tuscaloosa 51-30. And now the 6A boys final. This is Eufaula, a great Eufaula team, playing Park Crossing. Park Crossing listed at 26-4. Eufaula 21-3.
Do we have any viewers in Eufaula?
We should have some. Yes, sir. We should have some. I know.
Interesting here, if you look at the matchup of Charles Henderson and Carroll, Charles Henderson played Carroll back in November 12th, and won 77-54 at Carroll. Then Charles Henderson played them later in the year, back in January 18th, and won 75-56.
Well, did they have what Will said?
Matthews playing their best players back now.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, he made a big difference. And Will says this guy, their best basketball player, is also a big time football prospect. He's a linebacker in football, he said.
Yeah.
One of their basketball players is signed with UNA, which is now a Division I basketball program.
Yeah.
Charles Henderson 24-5 will play Carroll 24-7, 10:30 a.m. in Montgomery. So they'll play right after the girls on Wednesday.
Yeah, that'll be a good
the
time
boys
to.
are playing on Wednesday too.
So that means Rice could go to the girls game, the boys game, and then y'all could go to the baseball game, or come back and watch Troy Texas Robinson. What a day of sports!
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Right. We could go on another barbecue run. Mm-hmm. You like that, don't you?
I do.
Rice, listen, Mike, I want you to hear this. Rice on football, ladies and gentlemen. Because here you go, Rice. This is what you want. Look at this thing. And it is heavy.
Let's show everybody this.
Don't turn off your coffee.
All right.
Yeah, that is a good-looking
Man, that's
cooler.
a good-looking cooler.
Everybody
that buys a car gets one of these coolers.
That's right. But thanks to Jason at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Trucks, you won the football contest this
the bowl
year.
Season. Not the whole season, the bowl season.
Yeah, that bowl season, and it opens up. It'll hold well over a case of brew
I need
in
a
there.
nice cooler. Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Mike.
The thing about it is so heavy. That thing is heavy as it can be. Let's see right here.
It's got cup holders. I could take this to the beach.
Oh yeah, no question. Michael would have loved it that great. But you got one, don't you?
Yeah, I got one.
Do you like yours? Do you like yours?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah. This one's different, Mike. It looks like a.
It looks like a trash can.
Yeah, but it'll keep
heavy.
It'll keep
Stuff cold.
drinks cold for a week. They say.
I got a hugger in here.
Yeah, oh yeah. But congratulations.
Also, I need to mention over the weekend,
Wow.
Auburn fell on the road to Florida. Auburn has, I think, lost, I don't know how many straight at Florida. So
Just
Florida
sit over there.
Alabama on the road. Alabama plays Kentucky. Kentucky had 2 starters out. And Kentucky still beats Alabama 90-81.
Alabama got, listen to this, Mike. Alabama hit 5 straight threes. Is that right? Early in the game, and led by.
Alabama was 14 for 40 from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Still got beat by 9.
And they, well, you
Alabama
know,
was up by 13 with 7 minutes left in the first half. I checked the score and said I had some money on an insurance policy betting against Alabama. And that was one of those bets I was going to be happy to lose because I said, my gosh, Alabama's lighting it up.
yeah,
But they went suddenly, as fast as good as they were hitting them, they went suddenly cold.
Yeah, that's right.
And by halftime, Kentucky led by 1, and then they pulled away in the second half.
yeah.
Yeah, Alabama plays a much improved Vanderbilt team in Nashville tomorrow night, so quick turnaround for Alabama. Alabama can make the tournament, but man, I don't know if they'll get to 20 games. I don't know if they'll have a winning record in the SEC.
Yep.
Well,
Alabama's basketball team is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Alabama it's really an amazing story. Herb Jones, the great player for Alabama, who was SEC Player of the Year and led Alabama, is out of the game for the Pelicans and played in the Futures game at the All-Star break. But he's put up phenomenal numbers for a second-round pick. Has started the last 30 games for the Pelicans too.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to get better and better offensively, but he's always been an elite defensive player. And if you can play defense, you can play.
Yeah, that's right.
His dad was his coach at Hill County.
Yeah. Want to continue to talk a little bit about this basketball tournament. The G.W. Longs from Skipperville, and I was around a bunch of them. They were watching Troy softball this weekend, and we had a tremendous crowd of Ole Miss people. And I said, do y'all have anybody playing here? No, we just came to the game. I bet they had 150 people at that game. You know, they just support the people. I guarantee you, the SEC supports their teams. I guarantee you.
Softball in the SEC is big.
It really is.
It's a huge sport. Don't you think it has surpassed girls basketball in popularity?
I believe it has. It has to me. I really enjoy it.
Maybe not in Tennessee or South Carolina, but
G.W. Long, 14 and 12. The boys turned around and beat Central Acusa 62-58. So they've advanced to play the big game on Thursday or Wednesday at 1:30. They'll play Lynette. Lynette 17 and 3, and G.W. Long 14 and 12. That's going to be a tough one. You know, Lynette's got to be good, don't you think, Mike?
Yeah, they're always on basketball.
And also the girls from G.W. Long have a shot at going to Birmingham. They beat Ranburn 63-39, and now they'll play Lynette's girls. Lynette's girls are 16 and 7. G.W. Long is 23 and 4. They play at noon, so you can watch them once you go up and see Troy play. They play at noon on Wednesday, and it looks like this G.W. Long girls team is very good.
well, they apparently have a great all-around sports program at G.W. Long.
But it's exciting.
So does Lynette, though. I mean, Lynette's good in basketball, and I know they've been good in football. There's the coaches got two sons, and one of them plays at Alabama, and one of them plays at Auburn, or is committed to Auburn.
Yeah, Story.
Yeah, and what you mean talking about Brantley or who?
Lynette.
Oh, Lynette, yeah. Oh, that you're right. Now, how about these guys from Brantley? We want to mention them this morning. Brantley 20-6 plays Lochapoka 19-7, Mike, and this is the let's see.
1A, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's 1A, and they, Brantley beat Central of Hayneville 66-44 for the right to get in there. And guess who's leading them, Mike? We were talking about their combo.
Sean and Brown.
No, that's not it.
Johnny Brown, yeah.
Brown, that's it. That's Brown.
The running backs, they were so good.
Yeah, and he's a great basketball player too. And
you know who else is a really good basketball player is that running back from Geneva County.
Yes, but they've been beaten though.
They were in the playoff, the regional. I don't know if they got beat or not.
Emmanuel Henderson.
Yeah. Georgiana is in the girls. They made it beating Tuscaloosa County 54-52. But the one we're real concerned about here is the Brantley Bulldogs, and they're in it. And they've got Tucker Kilcrease playing for them, Mike. Yeah,
Does he play basketball?
Yes, he does. He does play basketball. I think.
Well, he's a great baseball player. I knew that.
Yeah. And Tucker's a good golfer too. Tucker could beat most anybody in the.
I would say he's.
So did you go to baseball?
What now?
Did you go to any of the baseball games?
Oh yeah, I saw the. Let me tell you, Troy ran into a buzzsaw on Friday. They
They only won 2-1.
when that pitcher they threw a left-handed pitcher at us. It was as good as I've seen lately, and. The only reason they took him out was that they got in a situation they had to pinch hit him, and but he was an excellent pitcher, left-handed pitcher. It gave Troy fits, but a home run by the hottest man on the team won it for us in the 9th inning.
Awesome.
Now, I was so cold.
Troy won 2-1, 23-3. 11-3 and 8-1. So the bats really came alive after that first game.
Yeah, and
That's a great debut for our new coach.
And it was cold.
Yeah, see, I couldn't go. It's too windy, and I'm gonna wait till it warms up.
I'll tell you this, though, but it was just like I watched all of that game. But let me tell you what I ended up doing. It got cold for me in the bleachers, so I went to left field. And when I went out left field, they had all these fires going and all this chicken and this pork and all delicious food and everything. I said to myself, where have I been all night? I should have been right here. And Jimmy really took care of me. And, of course...
well, you're right. It was a lot going on in Troy.
But they had the
whole Wiregrass. Yeah. All the sports are playing.
And they had that left fielder so shook up. I don't know how he could play the game. They were saying everything to him. They got. But in a minute, that guy who had given them such a hard time reached over and grabbed a long fly ball to keep him in the game.
So he kept his composure.
He sure did.
Despite the heckling.
But it's a lot of fun out there, and if you like to just let the kids run around, Rice, that's what you want to do. Go out there and enjoy the fireplace and the good food. And Johnny Barron is probably as accommodated as any man I know.
The same thing at basketball games, really. I mean, I let my kids run around.
Oh yeah,
they do.
But this right here, they'll play with the other kids and everything. It's a lot of fun for these kids.
Charles Henderson, baseball's back playing again too. They beat Carroll on Friday 12-0, and then went up to Chilton County and played a game with Clinton and got beat 9-2.
Yeah, they're good. Clinton plays good baseball.
1-1. Charles Henderson will be at home again today playing Eufaula at 2:30.
Ooh, big game there. Anytime Eufaula play.
This is one game that the great town of Eufaula doesn't do that well.
In baseball?
Yeah. Let me tell you, it's a great sports town, but when is the last time you ever heard of Eufaula winning anything in baseball?
I can't remember.
And even in the rec league, Eufaula is a great sports town if you'll exempt baseball.
I do remember Troy hosted several World Series in Dixie Youth and Dixie Boys.
Yeah.
And I remember one year after Troy had good response by doing that Eufaula, I was kind of surprised that Eufaula got a Dixie World Series.
You know, they got a beautiful facility. It's down there by the lake and everything. And I'm not saying that that it's really a bad program. It's just not up there with the Troys and the Ozarks and some of them. You know,
Eufaula, I think basketball first, and they've had a lot of good football teams too.
And their basketball team, as we mentioned, they're going back to with a win over Park Crossing. But Park Crossing is 26-4. Eufaula 21-3. They play on the today. I would say. Let's see. I would say is the 21st today or the 2nd.
Today's 21st.
All right.
When Charles Henderson
they play
won
today.
the state championship in 1980, and I was the third team quarterback. On the sideline, putting my hands in my pocket, freezing on the sidelines, hoping I'd have to go in the game. Charles Henderson opened the playoffs against Eufaula at Memorial Stadium, and I remember that was a tough game. I think Eufaula was leading for a while, and
Eufaula had a little quarterback that was really good.
Tough. All those playoff games except the Stanhope Elmore game were just tough. But Charles Henderson prevailed.
Yes, sir. Charles Henderson, let me tell you this. Jay Jeffco was a good football coach. Charles Henderson, when they won the state championship, they were as well coached as any team ever in this part of the country, not just in Troy, but anywhere.
They were.
They would come to the line of scrimmage, and this little quarterback would stoop below the center, actually, and he had all these options in this no huddle wishbone offense.
He was like Mike Turk in the high school level. And then Ross Davis was the center. He wasn't much bigger.
And he wasn't bigger. That's right.
Good center, though.
That's right. And I remember
him very well. That offense could control the ball and keep teams off the field and score when they needed to. But really what won that state championship was the great defense. And I bet Coach Hogan might be watching. He was the defensive coordinator.
That's right. You know, you were talking about the center, the Gaylord kid.
I mean, no, Ross Davis.
Ross Davis.
He's first cousins with the Gaylords.
But I'll say this. Let me tell you this. His daddy played at Georgia Tech under Bobby Dodd.
Yeah.
His name was M.A. Davis back in the 50s, about the mid-50s, and he was a star player at Troy High School, and he went on to sign with with a great program in Georgia Tech. A lot of people back then would probably say that Georgia Tech was a better program than Alabama.
Well, in that point in time, they were, yeah.
And of course, M.A. later on came back to Troy and built a little hamburger joint called not a joint, but a nice hamburger place. It was called Davis. It was called Davis Granberry.
Ross's mother, Harriet. She was a long-time secretary of the athletic department.
Oh, yes. She sure was, under Bradshaw, I know. And, she was a grand lady, no question about it. And,
that's how I got to know the Davises, because I was a water boy for Coach Bradshaw's teams and around the program a lot, because Charles Bradshaw was my best friend.
Yeah.
But the Davis kids were always around, too, because Harriet was, the main secretary in the athletic department.
Yeah, that's right.
I would see Philip and Ross all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Great family.
The Arch Manning sweepstakes going on for Arch Manning, the star quarterback out of Louisiana. He's down to 6 schools. Name those 6 schools.
Alabama, Georgia, Auburn. No, not Auburn's not going to even get a shot at him.
Texas.
That's right. Florida and LSU.
Good list.
So those are the 6 teams that Arch Manning will choose to play for.
I bet he ends up going to Ole Miss or Texas.
LSU with a new coach and And
Might go to LSU.
then he being and born and raised in Louisiana, wasn't he?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Was he born and raised in Louisiana?
Lived in New Orleans.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and
Around the Garden District of New Orleans.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's gonna stay at
He
LSU.
might.
And
Also, Alabama's hired a former SEC head coach as an offensive analyst, the great Derek Dooley.
oh boy.
Going back to Alabama.
Well, let me just say something.
Going back to coach with Saban again. He coached with Saban at LSU.
All right. Let me ask you this now: is he gonna be the defensive coach or offensive coach?
Offensive analyst.
No analyst. Well, the last time he was,
It's like a job that pays like $40,000 a year.
the last time he was a coach at Tennessee, he was a head coach at Tennessee, at Troy University.
Troy put 48 on it.
And
Well,
700 yards offense.
Troy put over 700 yards in total offense against Tennessee that day
And lost.
and lost.
Keep in mind, Troy lost. Yeah. That's the most important thing. Remember, they lost.
Yeah, I know it, but the final score was
55 to 48.
55 to 48. That was a heck of a
How do you
game.
have 700 yards of offense?
I know it. That might be a record.
It's called no defense.
Yeah. But we had our quarterback was a great one out of Paducah, wasn't he, Mike? Who was the quarterback on that team for us?
Corey Robinson.
Corey Robinson was a heck of a quarterback. Let me just tell you this.
And he had the backup quarterback that was such a great athletic. Deion Anthony, too, was on that team.
Yeah.
They rotated. Anthony was a runner and a thrower.
Well, I'll tell you this about him. He threw in his career at Troy over 13,000 yards. Isn't that right? 13,000, Mike?
Yeah.
That record will never be broken, I don't believe.
Well, I get 700 yards. I bet you no team in the history of Tennessee football has got over 700 yards against them.
Yeah, that's right. No question about it.
So
But
Troy
he-
is in the Tennessee media guide.
Michael and I, one thing about him, Michael, he played more college football than anybody in history, wouldn't you say?
Well, he was redshirted, gray-shirted. So he played 4 years. He played normal, but he was in college probably longer than anybody else. Now you got all these guys that get the COVID back, and some guys come back from injury and get an extra year sometimes. So
All right, tell him.
I think he just played 4 years.
But he was there 6 years. He was on campus 6 years, and we saw him up at a Middle Tennessee game one night. And he got in an argument.
Almost got in a fight.
I know it. He got it. We were sitting up there, and we were enjoying talking to him. But in a minute, he's got something going with one of the Middle Tennessee fans or something like that. And well, we thought we were going to be in a big fight, but we got out of there.
I'll tell you, that's like one time I was taking pictures at a Troy Jack State baseball game, and I think some Jack State fan said I was blocking her view. I was just trying to take pictures through the fence right by the Jack State dugout.
Yeah.
That's the only place you could really get your camera lens through the hole in the fence. And she just kept getting on me, and I had some words with her, got into a little argument with her, and after the game, it turns out that her husband was an assistant coach at Jack State, and he tried to start a fight with me.
Oh, gosh.
I restrained myself.
Well, old Bird Legs, we lost him, and, what a great coach he was at Jacksonville State baseball for years, and he's no longer with us. I bet you they'll end up naming a building after him, don't you think, Mike?
Well, it's already Rudy Abbott Field.
Oh, it is already named the field after him, just like Chase has got the field named after him.
Well, he was a great one. Without
And
question.
oh yeah.
But I'll still tell you that to this day, I am not a fan of Jack State. I'm just going to admit. I like Auburn better than I like
Well,
Jack State.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a very big Jack State fan either. As far as if they were playing Russia, I'd root for Russia, I think. And that's saying a lot, isn't it? Mike, would you vote? Would you root for Russia over Jack State?
You're the only guy that I know that actually has probably put on a Jack State helmet before, though.
Yep, you're right. That was back in 1965. Put on that helmet of Jack State. Can you believe that?
Not, a lot of people will not
But
know that. Be surprised to learn that.
But though a little later on in my life, I hooked back onto a Troy, and that was where I stayed for what 50, 60, 70, 80, 90.
You became Troy's number one fan.
75 years old now. And,
I thought you and Mom lived in Auburn. Didn't you and Mom live in Auburn for a year?
yes, we did. We sure did. Lived in the old Auburn apartments there. Our first place after we got married.
How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what was Auburn like back then? It's probably a neat little town.
Well, I'll tell you what. You didn't see any chain.
Probably.
You didn't see any chain restaurants. You might have seen Dairy Queen or something like that, but you didn't see, McDonald's or Hardee's in those places way until after I left there. They fought it. The city of Auburn business people fought the big conglomerates like McDonald's and people like that for a long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm right.
Well, I lived in Opelika for 6 years in my Opie Taylor days, and Auburn. I mean, Opelika and Auburn were about the same size,
Yeah.
and they run into each other. And I would go to Auburn all the time because the movie theaters were in Auburn.
Yeah,
For example, I can remember where I saw the movie Jaws. It was in downtown Auburn.
Oh, really? Of course, you lived in Opelika, and that's a great place to live. Both of them.
Boy, they were big. Opelika and Auburn High School were big rivals, buddy.
But we were talking about all the great restaurants. Did you get any feedback on any of them?
Yes, everybody really enjoyed our trip down memory lane of our. We started with talking about restaurants in Montgomery for some reason, and then we quickly got to Pike County, and we talked about all the great restaurants that aren't here, plus the ones that are still here. I hope we didn't leave anybody out. Oh, we lost.
That's
Hey, you back? We lost you.
Yeah, I got cut off somehow.
How your children do they go to school today? All of Pike County schools are closed today.
It's El Presidente Day. What are we honoring? Just certain presidents or all of them? Am I honoring Bill Clinton today? I don't want to. Honor
We have my mother-in-law coming in town for support to help out, so it'll be good.
Well, good, very good. I was looking.
I had golf yesterday as well. Joaquin Neiman won, kind of going away yesterday. On Bar Khan finished second.
Who is Joaquin Newman? Who is he?
He's I want to say he's from Argentina.
Oh yeah, no foreigner. I don't like to see these foreigners winning. I don't like them to see what foreigners winning these golf tournaments. Do you?
Some of them I like.
I'm not for any of the foreigners to win.
I like McElroy.
I like McElroy too.
Well, I don't root for them to win a tournament though.
Alabama finished fifth. Big controversy going on in golf. All these guys are threatening to go play on the Saudi Arabia tour. And Bill Mickelson's come out with some comments just brutal about the PGA Tour, to the point where I don't know if he could even come back and play on the PGA Tour. He's been so negative about it. So be interested to see if these guys, some of these big-time players, decide to leave and go play on this other tour.
I haven't been following that, but just the headlines, so I know it's a big controversy. Yeah,
And it's all about money. All about money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all about money, and Mickelson feels like the PGA Tour is basically, keeping them from making, extra money when it comes to endorsements and stuff like that throughout the I guess other stuff going on the course that they could also make more money off of. But he seems really bitter, to say the least. So I don't know where Mickelson will end up playing.
Gosh,
Greg
me
Norman
either.
is over the new tour. And I imagine a lot of players respect Norman and would probably want to play for him, in a new circuit.
We would be talking about huge money. Huge money.
$20 million.
well, that's where they got in Saudi Arabia.
$20 million what now? Purchases, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total money for the tournament, and there'd be no cuts, so you'd be guaranteed to make money every time you play.
Would you play many games in the United States, or would you always be on the?
Technically, it'd be the Asian tour, but you would play in Europe, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. And you'd still be able to play in the Players, U.S. Open, British Open, and Masters. You just wouldn't be able to play the PGA Championship.
You know what? I tell you what, they're fixing to really create or open up a can of worms. I think most of the good golfers will want to go the other way.
I bet you, I haven't been following it, but I bet you they are going to use the named players, and it's going to be like a super league with high-profile golfers.
That's right.
It's like what's coming in football. One day you're going to have a big boy league in Division I football that's going to be about 60 or 70 teams that can all get good TV ratings. And sadly, the Troys of the world are probably not going to be in that league.
It's something to think about.
Justin Thomas won $435,000 yesterday, so he didn't have a bad day.
Yeah, well, that's good. He's actually from Kentucky, you know, but he played his college golf at Alabama.
You know, I don't like taking money from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a bad, dictatorial, brutal, oppressive regime.
That's this guy's opinion now.
I hope the government of Saudi Arabia is
Hey, you're right. That's our opinion, or his opinion.
But you know, they're a key ally of America because we trade with them for their oil.
Yes, sir. As long as we trade for them, you know, what does that look like? Are we going to have to start getting our own oil, or what's the deal there?
Well, the other president, before Biden, we had oil coming from all over the place. We had it coming from our own country. We had it coming from Canada. We had unlimited supply of oil, and we had gas prices that were like $2, and now we're back $3.50.
Yeah, more than this could be more than $3.50 if this war continues. And from what I gather, it's going to happen.
I'm just saying we were not dependent on Saudi Arabia under the last president. Now we're back dependent on Saudi Arabia again.
I think we've also cut off Venezuela.
We cut off that pipeline.
Well, Venezuela is a major oil producer too, and you know last I checked, you know, their country had fallen into chaos, and they had some dictator that America had problems with, and I think our oil supply from Venezuela is not as big as it used to be either.
I mean, gas price is going to be $4 before we know it.
They look at the people that follow this. They look at the cost of a barrel, which, and then the big number you look at is $100 a barrel, which I think is getting close to. And some people are saying it might go to $150 a barrel.
Yeah. I saw.
How about this? Bernard Longer won yesterday. At 64 years old, won another senior event. He's two wins away from tying Hell Irwin with 45 wins on the senior tour. Brian Gay from Delville in his first senior tournament finished fourth.
Well, that's good.
He played well, but
he's a friend of Will's.
Unbelievable what Bernard Longer does. At 64 years old, I mean, he's 64 and he shot at 64 in round one.
He's got to be at least a top 5 best golfer ever. You know, he's a great one.
As far as longevity, he's got to be way up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, longevity.
He only won 2 majors on the regular tour.
You know, I would like to know. I'd like to know how long. Our guy from South Africa was on the tour.
Yeah, good one.
Gary Player.
Gary Player. He played a long time. Player did.
Well, he's like Bernard Longer. They're just obsessive about taking care of their body. Gary Player was, and Bernard Longer too.
You know the great. Nicholas and Palmer and Player and Weisskopf and all these guys. Hey, they're golfers that played yesterday make more money in a career, more money than they did in a career, and they just played one tournament.
I know it.
It's just crazy.
Well, it's like some people have said that every check these PGA golfers get today, they need to give a cut of it to 2 people. Yeah. Arnold Palmer, who made the sport popular worldwide, especially in America, and then Tiger Woods, who took it to another level.
Yeah.
He was in his prime.
Well, it's an exciting
Tiger,
time.
Tiger was the ambassador or sponsor of the Genesis Riviera, and he mentioned that he's going to play at some point this year.
Yeah.
Man, I watched him a little bit when they had this father-son tournament a couple months ago, and his son, who I think is in 7th grade, it looks to me like a prodigy. I mean, his swing is just beautiful, and he can play. You know, if he keeps his head on straight, I think Tiger Jr. is going to have a fantastic career one day.
You know,
Charlie Wood, Tiger's son, and then John Daly's son, John III. John Daly, his son won it. His son's a freshman golfer at Arkansas.
yeah. You know, I was looking here. The kid from Geneva County. Now the girls are playing. I don't know if the boys made it or not. Let's see here. But
They were highly ranked.
yeah,
They had a good season.
and boy, there'll be a lot of people going to the game just to watch him as an athlete, I'm sure. But
Yeah, I've been
we'll
told-
run over it a minute.
I don't think there's any way that kid plays running back in Alabama.
Yeah, I tell you what,
I
one
would
thing.
say put him at receiver, but then I watched him drop a pass against Ayrton. And he was shy. He heard footsteps, and I said, oh,
But one thing he can do, ladies and gentlemen, is he can run.
he can run. He's fast.
He is real fast.
But I didn't see him break any tackles or run over anybody.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, you know, if he's a good athlete, if they could put him at safety or something.
Yeah.
He didn't play defense in the game I saw him against Ayrton.
The
But I'm like you. I don't think if he's if he plays, he'll be a backup, mop-up duty type running back.
now let me tell you a little story. Yesterday, at the game Saturday, you know, the big game was between Troy and Ole Miss in softball. Troy won the game 4-3. Sitting right behind me was one of the girls who pitches for Ole Miss. Is her grandfather, and we kept talking back and forth, and we started talking about all these players. He was from Tennessee, and the girl from, of course, she plays at Ole Miss, but she's actually the family from Tennessee. But they talked about how beautiful our campus was. Just said, they said we've been a lot of places and no prettier place than this. But listen to this. Everybody knows where the restaurant in Goshen is, the barn. Mm-hmm. All right. They told me that they were staying at a bed and breakfast located about 500 yards from the barn. And I said, how did you find that place? She said, looked that up on the internet. and they showed her the place, and we're talking about them coming all the way down. They lived in Nashville, coming all the way down and getting to a turn that would take them to Goshen, and then another, like the Goshen Road. They had to get to the Goshen Road to go to a dead end at the elementary school there in Goshen, and then go up the hill to the barn. Well, they loved it. They loved it. You folks in Goshen, that, hey, listen, you ought to build more of them
I agree.
because these people from out of town would love to know that they could stay at a bed and breakfast,
You know,
and stay reasonable. You know, they said they had 6 people in their
we
group.
talked some about macroeconomic issues and inflation, and one thing I picked up on, Mike, is people are leaving high tax, high cost of living states and cities like in California and New York. Where are they coming? They're coming south. You know, we know about Florida, where Michael lives, but I've read that more people are moving to Alabama.
Yeah. Let me say this.
And a town like Goshen, Alabama, with that pretty scenery, rural setting, close to a college town, man, I could see a lot of people that would love to live there.
So many people come here visiting, and they're going to watch different sports, basketball, football, baseball, all over. All these people coming. we don't have enough motel space. So a lot of them end up staying in Ozark and staying in Greenville and staying in Montgomery. Well, all you need to do is fix you up a house and make it nice and air conditioning. Everybody will be air conditioning, but make it real nice and make a bed and breakfast.
Well, there's
all over this town. All over this
how many
town.
we have now.
We have that down here. It's called Airbnb that a lot of people rent out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. And but what I'm saying, Troy would be a market for bed and breakfasts. And now I know we've got one located right. Yeah, one of them. I know.
Yeah, the railroad tracks.
Yeah, the railroad tracks. We've got one, and
a lot of people say
funny
that.
you said that right. We had a family next door to us in a rental. We have a house that is a rental next to us in Grayton, and they had left Atlanta. The guy worked downtown Atlanta, and he was just sick of the traffic and the crime and just the big city atmosphere. And him and his wife and their little daughter had just sold their house in Atlanta, and they've been living on different places on the Panhandle. And he's been looking for jobs, she's been looking for jobs, and they've just been living in different houses they've been able to rent since they've left.
yeah,
there's just so many families like that down here now.
it would be beautiful.
Sometimes you'll see these stories from the moving companies, and they'll U-Haul, for example, that can give you numbers on people moving into a state and moving outbound. And I read a story recently that Alabama was like the number 4 or 5 ranked destination of people moving out of some other state.
That's right.
Florida, I think, was number 1, but Tennessee was up there.
Yeah.
Alabama.
You can have bunk beds. You know what I'm saying. Just a nice place that you renovated and made it into a bed and breakfast. I promise you, it'd go.
Well, you think about
then you get on the internet. You got to get on the internet.
You can find them.
And that's what'll happen.
In California, I might be wrong.
See, my wife at Alabama Real Estate Connection, 33672-0100.
Good time to be in that business. I think the average price in many cities in California for a home is $1 million. I've always thought if you could sell a home in California for $1 million, you could come to Troy or Goshen or Brundage or Banks, and you could buy a show place for $350,000.
Exactly right.
Pocket $650,000 and live off of that for 10 years.
You're right. And it's something that people around here need to look into. And you can make them, they could be quaint. They could be, they could look good and taken care of. And when a team comes to town, there are people that are coming following them. A lot of people that are following them, especially since we're Division 1A, and they'll definitely rent your facility.
A lot of people love that.
I don't understand why the university won't build some kind of hotel, kind of like the Capstone and Tuscaloosa. Auburn has a convention center hotel in Auburn. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Troy's not big enough.
All right. Listen to this, Mike. Listen to this. Ding, 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a big, huge movement to do that one thing you were talking about.
Okay.
Build a hotel on our campus.
A convention center.
Very close to
ballrooms. You can have everything.
Hey, very close to Alumni House. There's already talk, and I think there might be even plans to do that.
Well, we've talked about it on the show. Aren't you talking about where the National Guard Armory is?
Yeah, well, not just the National Guard, but just where the.
Well, I mean, that's no secret.
There'll be a high rise. It will be a high rise.
I think they've been talking about it for decades of somehow finding a new home for the National Guard Armory and working some deal.
That would be great.
There'd be legal stuff involved, but that would be the obvious location to do it.
What you would try to do with the Army.
Put a rooftop bar or something on top of it, you might be able to watch football games from the top of it.
Well, I know exactly. I told them they need to have a huge balcony.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Good morning.
Let's get Michael back on. Are you there?
Yes, Bill.
Yes.
Jimmy Phillips with the Hartford.
Hey.
How you doing, Jimmy? Good to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear you.
Could you put this on the air this week?
Yeah.
We're having the annual Hartford Park Walk
Well, that's wonderful. Wonderful,
So let's
Jimmy.
go through that again.
Okay,
What day?
Thursday,
Where? The Sportsplex.
Sportsplex, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, helpful meal, no prizes, entertainment. You can have your blood pressure checked or talk to a cardiologist.
And
Oh,
so,
that's
you said
wonderful.
it's a walk too. You can walk on some of those trails out there.
No, it's inside.
It's
Oh,
that
inside,
walk there.
inside on the walking track.
Yeah.
That's right. In fact,
For more information, where should somebody go, Jimmy?
Say again.
If you want more information, is there a website or phone number you want to give out, or just show it?
Pike County Heart Board.
okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for calling, and we'll definitely get the word out
Hey,
on
roll
this.
tide.
And we,
Thank you.
bye-bye. Call again if you want to. Thank you.
Jimmy was part of the, still is, I'm sure, the Alabama group. That,
Yeah, uh-huh.
that my dad
Are
was.
we taking a break for that?
Yeah, we need to right now. We'll be back.
The Heart Walk is the Sportsplex. I went to the Sportsplex.
Got $1? Get a new car. Got $1? Get a new truck. Just $1 gets you into a new truck or car during Dollar Days. New Ram, new Jeep, new Dodge, and Chryslers. All you need is $1 down. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone, so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Our community is the driving force behind our stores. Our commitment to you has been our #1 priority for over 30 years. Whether it is providing quality, fresh, local, and affordable products or aiding local schools, churches, and charities, Piggly Wiggly is here for you.
Right here, right now. Got $1? Get a used car, truck, van, SUV, you name it. That's right. Just $1 gets you a pre-owned vehicle during Dollar Days. All you need is $1 down. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Hey, they are already talking about building it.
Well, we're back on there.
Back to our show, brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Looking for a career in the trucking industry, no better place to go than Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. Southeast Gas, that's their new logo, and C-Spire, the now owners of Troy Cable. We appreciate them being a part of our show today.
Yeah, I mean, I saw firsthand, how a convention center, I worked at the Bronx Conference Center. I managed that in Tuscaloosa, and of course, we were attached to the actual Capstone Hotel. So to have all the athletic, teams staying there the night before games, football team would stay in. Of course, we'd have huge events at Sellers Auditorium. I mean, you could seat about 1,000 people.
Wow.
You had all these other conference rooms throughout where we had, full staff and chefs and catered all kinds of events, and sororities and fraternities had events there. Business, different places throughout Tuscaloosa had meetings there. I mean, the sky's the limit on what you can do with something like that.
Yeah, and Auburn has a similar place too, right on campus.
And they were Troy University alumni office. They want to one day build a new facility because it's located in the old gray house on, but it's just right off the campus. And excuse me, but
You were talking about one time somebody talked about building a condominium there where you could see out into the football field.
What it would be,
all you'd have to do is really have like 40 rooms. I mean, you would make it huge.
Yeah.
You would at least have a place on campus where people could stay that are visiting
and
dignitaries, anybody that's want to come visit the school. It'd be great to have.
Well, I'll tell you another thing about it is, you're creating a beautiful facility. But Troy has a motel and hotel management course,
right?
Or curriculum.
You can incorporate that.
And see,
that's a no-brainer.
Exactly right. That curriculum would be right there. That new facility.
You know what I think? I could see that area it'd be a beautiful facility, and then you just continue on down and you do the Bill Rice Jr. vision of beautifying Charles Henderson's campus with some terracing and ponds and serious landscaping, and then we already got Alabama's most beautiful campus, but then you beautify that little stretch down to Crow Hill. Man, you would have even more of a show place.
The most beautiful place in Troy and Pike County is Crow, C-R-O-W, Crow Lake in Troy, Alabama. I'll put it up against anybody, anywhere on the beauty of a lake located less than a quarter of a mile from the entrance to Troy University.
And I mean, this is water under the bridge, literally. Oh, but I still regret that 20 or 30 or 40 years ago when Mr. Pollard was involved and Dr. Hawkins was involved in the Walnut Creek Lake.
Oh, yeah.
They could have built that thing, and that lake would have wrapped around the back of Charles Henderson High School and came up to Elm Street Road and Wallace.
The sad thing about it.
You talk about beauty and another asset for your town.
Well, the sad thing about all that, the Corps of Engineers had already signed off on building it at no cost.
$400,000 or $1 million.
I think I don't know if it's even that.
Charles Henderson Hospital is coming up on 60 years. When is it time to build a new school?
Yeah.
Forrest Lee has talked about that on the show before.
Well,
Troy University could acquire that land and that building, and in that little landscaping project I can picture, I bet Troy would make it happen. Yeah, but one day that could happen, Michael. I bet you're right. The high school could move somewhere else.
Well, let me tell you this. If you look at it, it's part of the industrial complex and everything, but you see where Pike County Board of Education got that building out there already constructed. There's a lot of land already out there with paved land already out there that you actually could build a giant high school.
Off the highway.
And merge both of them.
Well, that's another thing people have talked about from time to time. Since we're talking about rumors, or is the Troy City schools and
now, I don't know if that's a rumor or not, but it's something that could happen because they got all kinds of land out there, all kinds of land.
I want to do the Mike Amos Memorial Guardrail from Charles Henderson's softball field down to Crow Hill.
I want to compliment the new second-year or third-year coach at Charles Henderson softball. They're doing a good job getting that softball field looking better and better.
Exactly.
At Charles Henderson.
Mike,
that's just a drainage nightmare, though, man. When they get rain, they just can't do anything about it.
Yes, they need a tarp, I think.
Yeah.
They need a lot of things.
But better minds will look all over all of this, and like I said, the facility to be built on campus, it's not a done deal, but it's in the works.
Well, the indoor practice facility is on their wish list. They're getting ready to build a new nursing building, aren't they, Mike? Right there.
Yeah, I was thinking so.
Between the stadium and the Adams Center, where they just tore down the dorms.
Yeah.
That's going to house the athletic training program.
Oh, it is? I know.
Yeah, that's going to be
that's great.
Another show place. You had those
Yeah.
three. They tore down Wright Hall, which was the natatorium, and 2 dorms.
No. Now they didn't tear down Wright Hall.
Not Wright Hall. I'm sorry.
They kept the gymnasium, but
the
they
natatorium. What was
yeah,
it
the
called?
natatorium. It was.
They tore that down, and they tore down those 2 dorms, which were the biggest eyesores on campus. And so every eyesore soon becomes a showplace.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point.
Oh, yeah,
These
no
people
question.
that are doing this, Janice Hawkins has been the leader, and the physical plant people, they've all got a vision. And I just let them do what they want to do, because everything they've done, as far as I can tell, has been a home run.
I mean, what UAB and South Alabama have with their indoors, it's open air. I mean, you can close it and it's open air. You basically just have a cover.
I don't like it.
Do something like that. Even if it was like 50 yards, they got to have some kind of indoor facility. There's no reason a Division I school should be going into a gym.
You know,
It's on their long-term plan list. I mean,
you know the yeah.
What I've heard is that
You've seen UAB's, Dad.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like
I
it.
think Troy wants to do something that's a little more impressive too.
Yeah, you know, the
But
Pike
I've been-
County-
It's a lot better than nothing, though.
Oh yeah, you're right. The Pike County Cattlemen's Association did it, that way and very successfully. You know, where they had the open air situation, and then up front they got the big, conference room or meeting room or whatever.
Yeah, that's been a success story.
Yeah.
I can remember. I'm getting old because I can remember when they built that, and I think I've heard that they paid for it and already paid for it.
Yeah. But
Troy has the benefit of having just endless amounts of land, though, on their practice field facilities. I mean, they've got basically 300-yard practice fields out there.
yeah.
I've been told.
It's not like they don't have the land to build it.
I've been told they could build it right off on the practice field, the shorter practice field, right behind the new football complex.
Yeah.
And so the concern is you don't want to mess up the sight lines towards the stadium and Trojan Arena.
The aesthetics. You remember the aesthetics part is very important here
I
too.
guess Troy doesn't worry about cheating. But no practice fields in the country have no fencing around it like Troy's. It's crazy. Anybody and their brother can go out there and watch Troy practice.
Hey, exactly right. I've done it many times. I've thought about it the same way. Like I walk down here from my office to the gate, and I can watch all of the practice.
Remember when they had that big steep hill that was looked down on the practice field? That's where people would pull up and watch. I would go and watch that football camp and quarterback camp that the Bowdens had.
Yeah,
I'd just sit
exactly,
up there and get some sun.
Yeah.
And then Coach Bradshaw used to watch from up there, and I wasn't there, but several people have told me one time he saw a player he didn't like, and he started to come down the hill like Coach Bryant used to come out of that tower to talk to one of his players. And they said he fell and just tumbled all the way down.
Oh yeah.
And then he just got up like nothing had happened.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course, Troy's had to finish the actual football game on their practice field one time.
I saw that happen.
That was Division II days when they barely had enough light. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't legally lit well enough to finish the game on, but they sure did finish it on it.
I was there. And
the practice field.
Somebody's to write a story about that. That was unique. Because there was a big discussion on what could you do. Could you go to Pike Liberal Arts or how?
See, the other team was not going to spend the night. They had made up their mind that we got to play it. They're the ones that pushed it on us. You know, Southeast Missouri State, Southeast Missouri State. And let me tell you something. All Coach Maddox had to do was go into the dressing room and said, "All right, I'll tell you one thing. No way in the world we're going to let that team beat us on our practice field."
It was like an 80-yard field.
And sure enough, Troy won the game, but it was not easy.
So everybody went and watched on that hill. I mean,
exactly right. I tell you,
I hope somebody got some pictures of that.
Exactly.
I don't know. The only other option I could think of is it would have been the junior high field, but at the time the junior high field was in no shape.
Yeah.
have a college.
Well, if you'll think about it, where the Armory is now, there was a practice field for Troy. Did y'all know that?
No, that's before
There
my
was a
time.
practice field. Tom Jones's team was a practice field where they park all that equipment. That's where the practice field was located.
I mean, I was always shocked when I played at Charles Henderson. Why in the world the practice field wasn't where the band's practice field was? It was shady back there.
I'll tell you right now.
The band practice field was so much nicer.
The Charles Henderson High School Blue Machine has a better practice field than the varsity football, but they built a new one, and it's awfully nice. Thank goodness.
You know, I haven't even seen it yet. I don't know where
We'll go by there on one of our little trips or a little ride around. See, there's a couple of things that going on out of the bypass I need to know and need to find out about.
Well, if you take a ride around my campus, you're going to learn a lot. I've taken several.
You're
my dad share that.
You're going to ride with somebody that knows who was there and who lived there.
Dad loved his ride arounds, and you love your ride arounds too.
Yeah. Let's just say this. I love Troy, Alabama. I love Troy, Alabama. Brought to you by Raymond's. Nobody has a Raymond's but Troy. Raymond's Style Shop in Troy. How about the Southern Grill and Patio located on North Street, 39th Street, and Scott and Lana Hartley, and they'll it's a cover. We appreciate them so much. And also Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right in Troy. Remember, nobody beats a Ram deal.
Well, you get
nobody.
the best deal, you get the best selection, and then you buy a car, you get a $200 cooler that's going to last you the rest of your life.
Give me a.
Steve needs to find out if anybody's going to film that Charles Henderson Ozark game, because Ozark's on Troy or ceasefire.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a huge game to put on TV on this.
Oh yeah, big game. All of Ozark is on Troy cable, and all of Troy and Pine County.
There'd be so many people that won't be able to make it up there, but would love to watch that game at 10:30.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure you'll take a look at it.
You got to buy the rights.
But yeah, that's right. They have you're right. You got to buy the lights. I think they go ahead and contract out on the announcing mic.
Well, now they do it on the Final Four. I know for sure you wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I figured maybe the Elite Eight you might be able to film that.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the finest men to ever walk the streets of Troy, Alabama, Jeffrey, is here getting ready for the Wiley Sanders Truck Lines show, and we appreciate Wiley Sanders Truck Lines right here in Troy, Alabama. Jeffrey Bennett is one of the all-time greats. Huh?
I never see a Wiley Sanders truck on 38 or 98 down here. I wonder if they just don't hit down here.
I don't know. I bet they have a lot of. They've been. If they're not there, they'll be there one day. I promise you.
I see them everywhere.
Well, I mean, I figured on the Panhandle I'd see them a lot down here, but I haven't seen them much.
Well, you folks are a bunch of snobs, so
look at that, right on cue, the ad pops up.
And I tell you what, we appreciate them very much, and
we just got
the jobs
they provide. They started the best businesses because they're all almost recession proof. They do well at all times. The trucking company is booming.
Yeah.
The lead company, that's very important. Yeah. Not many people are in the lead business.
All right, now we're going to have to go.
Plastic recycling.
Yeah. We're fixing to have to go off the air in 15 seconds. Of course, get ready for the Jeffrey Bennett show, Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, right here in Troy, Alabama. Hope you've enjoyed our show. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, for Today in L.A.
Got $1? Get a new car. Got $1? Get a new truck. Just $1 gets you into a new truck or car during Dollar Days. New Ram, new Jeep, new Dodge, and Chryslers. All you need is $1 down.